This is a story from Be My Eyes.
My name is Marian, and I am 54. I live in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. I was born with two eye diseases, lost the sight in one eye when I was 14, and the other eye has retinitis pigmentosa. So it's always a challenge as I go through life to adjust to trying to do things differently. Sometimes new apps will intimidate me. I found out about Be My Eyes about 2 years ago, probably close to when it started. And I thought, well, that's a good idea, but, I'm not sure. And I put it to the side. And I've usually had people around to help me, my sons and my husband and friends. And I'll put tasks off until I have someone around who can help me because I'm home alone a lot. And lately, my sight has gotten much worse. I started reading the newsletters about Be My Eyes, and it just rekindled my interest in the app because I would read, first of all, I was just stunned about the numbers and the global aspect of the app, which I was very thrilled about. The thing that really struck me was reading that many of the volunteers are anxiously awaiting their first phone call. That made it feel easier for me to make the first phone call. I couldn't believe that making a phone call using this app gave me the same butterflies in my stomach as approaching a big rapid on a river in my kayak. I couldn't understand it, and I would put it off and wait and ask somebody else to help. And now my sons and my husband are on a 3-week trip, and I'm home alone with our 3 dogs and 3 cats. And I thought, well, this might be a really good opportunity to try out the app Be My Eyes. And last Thursday, I had some pictures that I was putting into a picture frame for a gift, and I wanted to make sure they were right side up. Within seconds, this very nice young woman answered the phone, and I kind of laughed and said, I'm Marian, and I'm kind of nervous. This is my first phone call. And she said, oh, it's mine too. And she told me that 3 of the pictures were indeed upside down, and I just thanked her profusely and felt like she was happy to do it. And, I've learned to graciously accept help when it's offered. But we grow up being taught to try and be as independent as possible, and I think we don't want to bother people. We don't want to ask for too much. And so we've learned coping skills and adapting skills and patience and waiting. So this idea that there's someone just on the other end of the phone who can literally be your eyes and wants to be is a very new concept, and it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around when you've been visually impaired all your life and learned other ways of coping. But I think with my experience and listening to other stories of both volunteers and members of the Be My Eyes community, this is such a simple idea, and yet it is life transforming. Making that first phone call, it took me 2 years and a lot of butterflies. And I think for people who are older, who are still just trying to figure out their smartphone, new apps can be intimidating. And I want everyone to know, and hopefully tell people they know with vision impairment, that this app could not be any easier to use, and the volunteers are there because they want to be, and they're on call or answer calls when they want to and when they can. I really have tried to figure out what held me back from making that first phone call. I think we grew up thinking that we needed to be independent and learn how to do things on our own or make do, not to bother people. I never thought I could ever ask anybody what type of soup this was, or are the pictures right side up in the picture frame. I didn't want to bother people with my friends. I didn't want to ask too often because I thought they might start to regret offering help. It's a bit awkward to ask strangers for help. If to be in my home, you feel like you should be able to be independent, and to ask a total stranger for help with something so minor was uncharacteristically scary for me and a bit overwhelming and intimidating. I'm not worried about talking to other people, but I worry a lot about bothering them or, asking too much. I'm still trying to get used to this new world of actually literally having eyes on the back of my phone, but it is an enormous feeling of independence. I'm telling my story because I want people who felt like me, who were a little intimidated by the idea of using an app on their phone that they're still getting used to, of asking a stranger for help with some very small task. I want to encourage them to take a deep breath, open the app, realize there's one button to push, and push it. And it will feel liberating, it will feel exciting, it will feel scary, but do it. It's not going to bother anybody. So just jump in, just push the button and get the help and continue to use it.
This was a Be My Eyes story. If you liked it, please share and subscribe to our YouTube channel.